The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. New York Met baseball, past, present, and future. I'm Ralph Tycho of the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and I'm going to turn you over to your hosts this evening, Marty Rose and Robert Cole. Start with you, Marty. What's going on?
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. Today, the Mets are playing the Cincinnati Reds, and they have a 3-0 lead. Well, they did after the first inning. They still have a 3-0 lead with Noah Syndergaard. Yeah, Noah Syndergaard on the mound. But the one thing that I found very interesting that was mentioned in that first inning, when Austin Jackson came up and got a 2-out RBI, which was the Mets' first 2-out RBI since July 26th. And today is August the 6th. So that pretty much tells you how things have been going lately. Robert.
Okay, well, for a couple of games, okay, we thought we had another closer, okay, in Anthony Swarzak, the savior. In fact, I spoke last week about, how his whole demeanor changed, and he looked like, he was up to the task. Of course, the saves are few and far in between, but I think he was 3 for 3 or 4 for 4, something like that. And then 2 days ago, we find out Mr. Swarzak's going on the DL.
Right.
There goes another one. It's you can't make this stuff up. We talked about at the beginning of the year that nothing could be as bad as last year. Okay, guys going on the DL almost every day. It just couldn't get any worse. The Mets changed their training staff, their medical staff. They changed everything. It just couldn't get any worse. And guess what happened? It's gotten worse.
It has. No question.
It's like every day, Noah Syndergaard gets a disease that nobody had ever heard of before. Guys are getting hurt left and right. It's amazing. All you can do is shake your head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I don't know. I guess we just have to look toward next year. I saw some questions had come up about who or what free agents the Mets should go for, and I really didn't study the names or anything, but it's pretty obvious that they need a catcher, a first baseman, and a center fielder for next year. I think the way McNeil has played, he should get a shot. He's 26. I know that he's not a little kid anymore, but I mean, if he's, he is hitting pretty well since he's come up. He hit well in the minors, and he could be good for 5 or 6 years at his age. Frazier has another year on his contract. You can't give up on Conforto or Nimmo. So I think catcher, first baseman, center field, not to mention the bullpen, which is kind of obvious.
Yeah, and you kind of scratch your head where all this is going to come from. The Mets kind of said they don't want to touch their pitching staff, their starting staff, I should say. And really, the only way you're going to make a trade is if you let one of those guys go. And, the three of us, would like to see them stay together and build around them, but I don't know, free agent-wise, how you're going to fill those holes.
They're not going to eat Vargas's contract next year. I wish they would, but they're not going to.
No.
So he's going to be back, and I don't think they could get much from that. The guy's always hurt. and he really hasn't shown any consistency since he's been in the major leagues. I think, Wheeler, as has been mentioned before, I think Wheeler would be the only guy that they could get anything for. And if they can get something decent, I say do it, because I think Corey Oswalt can be a good major league pitcher. And they got some kids coming up behind him. That guy you mentioned earlier that they got from the Phillies for Cabrera. And they have a couple of high picks that are working their way up. I think there's another kid at Binghamton that there was a number one pick a couple of years ago, and I think he's doing pretty well. So I would trade Wheeler if they could get something decent for him. I would.
Yeah, some of the problems right now is that catching is almost non-existent throughout the major leagues. I mean, there's almost no top catchers anymore. If I had a son that was very young, that's the place I put him, is learn how to catch.
Right. Right.
So catching is going to be very difficult. I'm not
sure. Is the Rays catcher a free agent coming up this year?
Wilson Ramos got traded.
Oh, he got traded.
Yeah, Wilson Ramos is on the Phillies.
No kidding. I must have missed that.
Yeah, he got traded at the trading deadline that same day.
So the Phillies really made a couple of nice moves at the trading deadline.
Yeah, and of course, they're only rentals. Now, Ramos is going to be a free agent.
But he's still a free agent. Right, okay.
Yeah. So he'll be out there most likely.
Well, he's gonna get big money from somebody.
Yeah. Well, as long as he stays healthy, and that's one of the problems with him. He's been on the DL a couple of times this year with the Rays, and of course he blew his knee out a couple of years ago. But he will be out there, and he is available. Other than that, there just really isn't a whole lot in the catching end of it.
Yeah.
You almost have to look to fill those spots. First base, I'd like to see Peter Alonso brought up, give him a shot.
Yeah, but he's not coming up this year. They already said that.
Did they say that?
So, yeah, they said that he's not coming up this year. And they're playing Dominic Smith in the outfield now because Alonso's at first.
Right.
So I mean, I pretty much don't think Dominic Smith is much of a prospect anymore. He looked totally awful when he came up.
He's one of those guys that needs a change of scenery. Send him somewhere, and God bless you. Maybe you'll pick up your career somewhere else. But I just don't see him becoming a Met. Nothing like we were expecting or hoping for.
Yeah. Well, Alonso will get a shot, I'm sure, in spring training, but he's probably going to have to win a job. But they really have nobody else there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, okay, the other thing is Jay Bruce is signed for next year also. Okay. And if he comes back, this year they're saying he's going to share first base with Flores. He has played first base in the past.
That's true.
Okay, so if he's back next year and hopefully he's healthy, maybe first base is taken care of. I don't know.
Okay, if he platoons with Flores and they're both healthy, that's not terrible. That's true.
No. Bruce is lefty, Flores is righty, so that would be an actual platoon.
They still need they still need a center fielder. I mean,
well, we're going to see Mr. Lagares again in spring training.
Yeah, for how long though? It's just every year with this guy.
Until
it's always something.
Five.
Yeah, it's a shame because he is a good player. It's a real shame.
Well,
I don't know.
he's been a Gold Glove center fielder. I mean, he obviously can do that. And the last couple of years, he looked like he was starting to get around with the bat, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets hurt again.
He has, yeah.
So
I like what I've seen from Austin Jackson, but I know he's just a fill-in basically, and he's 31, so he's not like the future. But from what I've seen, he can still play.
Yeah.
I don't know if yeah.
Considering what they have in the minors, which isn't much.
Not much, no.
You'd almost have to think that if you get a team-friendly contract signed with him, okay, you bring him back, and then because I think the bullpen is the place where they have to spend some money.
Oh boy. Boy, it's really terrible. Yeah.
Now, of course, Familia is going to be a free agent, so I don't know.
That's true.
So
that's true. Yeah,
bringing him back.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was pitching well when they traded him. We have to give him that. So
he was.
And you also have our good friend, the four-time loser, Henry Mejia, is still Met property.
Yeah, but well, are they going to invite him to spring training? I mean, what's he been doing? Has he been pitching like somewhere else, in another country or something? I don't even know what he's been doing.
I think he's just been working out in like the Dominican Summer League, stuff like that. He's not allowed to do anything really organized right now, so I mean, I don't know.
In other countries too? Yeah. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just Major League.
Affiliated with Major League Baseball, like the Dominican Summer League is an affiliated league now. Major League Baseball. So I really can't answer where he's been and what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, if he felt that he couldn't compete without some kind of PEDs, then how good is he really anyway?
Right. No, I agree with
you. If he's that dumb to do it 3 times, I mean, wow. Yeah, but they've got nobody outside of Lugo and Gazelman. I would like to see them bring back Familia. That you need a proven closer. You really do.
Yeah.
And
he's
been good for
few
them.
and far between also. So I mean, he'll be available now. Of course, I don't know what his mindset's going to be. I don't know if the Mets talked to him, when they were trading him, saying, we'd like to have you back. I don't know what the deal was there. So,
right. Well, they sent him to a contender that's right in the middle of the race. So, well, why not? I'd be thrilled if I was him. To get into that.
Right. And he didn't go there as a closer. So, if his mindset is I want to be a closer, he might be willing to come back. I don't know. Because Oakland already had a closer, and they actually had a setup man in place also. So
he got a couple of wins, like almost immediately. I saw when he went over there, including one in extra innings.
Yeah, I think they've been using him like in the 7th inning, or after they used the setup guy in the closer already. So I wouldn't mind seeing him come back for sure. Gazelman and Lugo are 2 guys that we don't talk about as guys that could bring value, but I think they'd be valuable also to other teams.
Because Lugo definitely wants to start.
Yeah,
and he's not going to get that. He's not going to get that opportunity here. I think Gazelman found his niche in the bullpen. I don't think he's a starter. I don't think he's good for more than 4 or 5 innings tops when he was a starter. And since he's gone to the bullpen, I mean, he's closed a couple of games, and the other games that he's been in the late innings, he's been decent when he wasn't overworked.
Right.
They did overwork him there for a while, and
him and Lugo
showed,
both.
yeah. Well, because they didn't trust anybody else when they were ahead. The few times they've been ahead, those are the only two guys they were going to, and you could understand why.
Right.
Everybody else besides, like you said, Swarzak, once he got into the closer's role, definitely was better than he had been. I don't know if it's adrenaline or it's a different story when you're trying to close than you're just coming in the sixth or seventh inning.
Right.
So but the rest of those guys out there, God Almighty, one's worse than the other. They even sent Tiny Tim back to the minors. I thought he was going to be good when he first came up. He looked good. And then all of a sudden, every time he goes out, he's giving up home runs. Goodbye.
Well, like you said, they got a bunch of yo-yos. Up and down.
Up and down. That's right.
They have no idea who they are, where they are.
They're finally getting rid of some of those guys, though.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Now another guy that has looked okay so far is Bobby Wall, who they got from Oakland in the Familia deal.
Yeah, he's pitched twice so far, maybe.
2 or 3
couple
times.
Of times.
He's done fairly well. There's a guy that I was surprised they didn't bring him right to the major league team after they made that trade.
Yeah.
But let's see. I see on television they got a picture of Ed Kranepool. I hope nothing happened to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just happened to glance up real quick. Is that him on television? Hold on here.
I don't.
Yeah, I think they're actually interviewing him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good
Interesting.
thing.
Yeah.
But, getting
I
back
saw.
to
Yeah, go ahead.
Getting back to the current team, virtually the entire bullpen can be wiped out.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Probably, Blevins can't get lefties out, and that's what he's there for.
And he's a free agent after this year.
Right.
So he's gone.
I don't see bringing him back.
No.
So getting back to Wheeler now, we're talking about Lugo. Lugo wants to be a starter. Well,
yeah.
Maybe then you do think about trading Wheeler in the off season. You're probably going to be able to do a better, larger trade in the off season than you would have at the trade deadline.
Right. I believe he's got one more year before he's a free agent.
To Wheeler?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Okay. So, we just have to wait and see. And then the other big question, right now is who's going to be calling the shots, as a general manager.
Yeah, that's very true. Good point.
Right now we have the three-headed monster. So, I would have to say that after the season's over, they have to name somebody as a general manager. You have to have somebody in place before the winter meetings. You can't go there with 3 guys.
No. Well, somebody was saying that they were looking outside the organization, but they better start looking real quick because time's flying by here. And they're going to need somebody soon.
You almost need to name somebody, right after the World Series is over and stuff, so the guy can get in place and start looking at what he has and getting ready for the winter meeting.
Yeah, I have not heard one name mentioned that of a guy that would be coming in for an interview. I haven't heard one name. No idea.
Yeah, it's. I think it really starts with that. I think the first thing they need to do is get a GM and put him in place, and then you can start building from there. But you can't even speculate on trades or anything until you have a boss in place.
Yeah. Very true. So,
well, I guess for us Metsy fans and the Mets fans out there, we really have to start looking towards next year, and unfortunately, we don't know what we're looking at.
no,
This isn't that much in the pipeline, minor league-wise.
No, not at all. A lot of question marks, and tell you, just looking at the team out there today. Geez, okay. I think, like I said about McNeil before.
Yeah.
I think he could play for a few years, but they still coming down on his defense.
I've been much more impressed, with his play at second base recently. He has range. He gets back on the ball. So
yeah, Gary made a comment, and I don't know if it was the first inning today, that they should have had a double play, and he just said he doesn't get rid of the ball quick enough when he takes the feed at second base, and he should have had a double play, and they're working on him. They're working on that with him. That's one of the things. But in the minors, he played a lot of second. He played some third. I think he might have played a little short. They were moving him around quite a bit. So he needs to get the reps. Yeah, second is going to be his position. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And, him and Rosario have to be left there. They have to play every day.
Rosario, they got to work with Rosario on swinging at those pitches that are way outside. I mean, he's got to have better plate discipline. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I think he got a hit. He's been leading off for some reason for the last couple of weeks. And today, he got his first hit leading off a game since he's been in the leadoff spot.
Yeah.
So,
they were trying Nimmo. Nimmo was there for quite a bit, and he started. Moved Nimmo down in the order a little bit.
And his average, went way down.
Yeah.
From where it was. And
I'm surprised they haven't, put Austin Jackson in the leadoff spot.
Well, I think they just want to work on Rosario. They know Austin Jackson's not the future, so they want. I know they want Rosario to, get his reps in the leadoff spot and do better, but he's got to work on that plate discipline. Really, he just looks bad out there a lot of the times.
Well, somebody just hit a home run for the Mets. Plawecki.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's going to get. Speaking of Plawecki, I think he's going to get more reps than Mesoraco the rest of the year because they got to see what they have here. Mesoraco's a free agent.
Yep.
They got to see what Plawecki is by the end of this year. So
he should get. He should get most of the reps. The rest of the way. He should play three to four times a week. As opposed to Mesoraco.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the idea that he's catching Syndergaard tonight. That tells me that he'll probably get a little more playing time. So. And we have to find out about Tomas Nido. They seem to be very high.
That's true. Yeah, he's been playing better lately.
Yeah, he has. But I was surprised that they put him back into Double-A and not Triple-A. I'm still scratching my head about that.
Yeah, the catchers they have at Triple-A, in my opinion, are not prospects. They're not.
No.
I think for some reason, I think they want to keep some guys away from that Pacific Coast League. Because all the stats are inflated out there. The pitching ERAs are inflated. The batting averages are inflated. It's just lousy playing out there. So I think that could be one of the reasons that he's still in Binghamton. And I think they got better pitching prospects at Binghamton right now than they have in Las Vegas. So
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
maybe that's all part of the plan, to
Yeah.
have him catch some of these young pitchers that he may be catching up in the big leagues with. So, yeah,
Yeah.
possibility.
You're right. Because they have the guy they got in the Cabrera deal, Franklin Colorme. He's in Binghamton. Their third number one draft choice a couple of years ago, Justin Dunn's in Binghamton.
Dunn, that's it. I couldn't come up with his name before. Right. He's a big time prospect. So, yeah, very good.
Yeah. So,
Something
you got a good point there. That may be why they're keeping him in.
Yeah. Plus, next year if they go to AAA, they'll be in Syracuse. They won't have to deal with that stupid Pacific Coast League out there anymore. So that would be a good thing.
Yeah. The two AAA catchers this year are Jose Lobaton and Johnny Monell.
Yeah, and there's some other guy, Playa or something, or Playa. Yeah, he's not doing anything either. So, Johnny Manel, they talked out of retirement. He was like bagging groceries somewhere. And, they just needed somebody to take up space, basically. So, yeah, these guys are not prospects out there.
The other guy is Patrick Mazuka.
I am.
So, so we have to hope that some of these young guys in Binghamton are the ones that start to develop.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I think they will. Hope they will anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Syndergaard got a base hit.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So. Okay.
All right, Robert, I think we pretty much covered
it
tonight. I think so. All right, so we'll see everybody next week then on New York Mets baseball.